Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox. So today I want to talk a little bit about retreat security. But before we do, I guess as cueing the intro kind of thing, check out the trees behind me all the way down that road. Can you see how they're all at an angle? Isn't that weird? Wind or something. Anyway, retreat security. I was looking on the internet just to see what they had on there. Because, I know a whole lot about securing isolated retreats, thanks to your tax dollars at work. But none of us know everything, and there's always something to be learned. So I did a little search. I typed it into the YouTube search engine, and it's me and Southern Prepper One for the most part. And neither one of us had a whole lot of views on those videos, which I also thought was kind of interesting. It's a pretty important subject. I guess people don't like contemplating it. One of the parts of any kind of security system is detecting the threat. And there's a good bit of stuff out there on alarms, and there's talk of dogs and sensors and things like that. And I think many people default to that. Default's probably not the right word, but they're like, yeah, I'll throw some money at that. I'll get me some sensors, and I'll have sensors to put out when I need to. And that's good as far as it goes, but what happens when your sensor goes off? Beep, 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 beep. Breach, perimeter, sector Charlie. Excuse me. What happens when it goes off? What are you going to do? What happens when your dog starts barking? Or woo, 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 woo. Depending what kind of dog you have, right? What happens when your dog starts barking? What are you going to do? Have you practiced that? How fast can you get into action? You're sitting there in your whatever you wear at supper, sitting down to eat supper, and all of a sudden the alarm goes off. You got to roll out, man. Where's your ready gear? What are you taking? How long is it going to take you to put that on and get out? Are you going to give a 5-point contingency plan to who's ever still in the house? What about if it's, the middle of your sleep cycle? So there you are sleeping in your boxers or whatever. Alarm goes off. I did a similar video. It's 2:30 in the morning, crash bam, what do you do now? But I'm talking about your alarm goes off, your sensors go off. You have a breach in your perimeter. It's too complicated of a subject for me to just give you a nice little answer, what you need to do. We used to say in the military, MET-T dictates mission, enemy, terrain, time, troops available, and then they added C for effects on civilian populace and things like that. It depends, right? I could come to your place and we could go over all the variables and we could come up with a pretty good plan. But for me just to sit here on the internet and tell you, what would be a good plan, it's really not that good. But a lot of it really is common sense. Make yourself a marauder and look at your place from the marauder's perspective. Think about how would I sneak up and attack my place. Do that. And then you should have a decent idea of how the bad guys are going to come when they come. And so based on that, then what do you do? Right? How do you react to that? What are you taking with you? Americans love our gear, right? we just love all our toys, our body armor, our Mitch helmets, or now they even have better ones, and all our guns with the Gugas and stuff. Well, how long is it going to take you to get kitted out there, hero? To go see what's going on. And are you going to step out onto your front porch and get zapped by the guy who's, waiting on you to step out on your front porch? Things to think about. So I guess that's it. Why don't you take a look at your place with the eyes of a bad guy? You know, they tell you to do that with just basic home security, right? How do burglars get in? Sneak around the back, open up a door, that kind of thing. What the heck is that? Some kind of critter over there. Oh, it's a bird. Well, do the same thing as an attacker. Look at your place with the eye of an attacker. And you're like, well, Joe, Pastor Joe, I don't have X number of years of military, infantry, special forces, Marine recon, whatever experience. I wouldn't know how to plan an attack on my place. Well, odds are great that the people attacking your place don't either, right? And a lot of it really is common sense. So why don't you go have a look at your place, figure out how you'd attack it, and then figure out what you're going to do about that. I think what you're going to find is that lacking people, soldiers, you are at a grave disadvantage to any attacker, despite your sensors. It takes people to secure land. And again, it's all METT dictates. How many people does it take to defend against a kindergarten class? Right. How many people does it take to defend a given piece of terrain against 10 motivated individuals? Ooh, that's different. What about 10 motivated trained individuals? Ooh. We've been at war as a nation now for, since 2001, right? 16 years. Obviously, I support the military. But do you think that everybody who served in the military is a good guy? Do you think that, man, I can't breathe with this cold. Do you think that everybody who served in the military and has experience in tactical things is going to remain a good guy? You're going to need people. You really are going to need people. I suggest you give that some thought. I bought a book. I'll stop here because I'm starting to breathe heavy just from walking on flat ground. Can you believe that? It's all upper respiratory. Excuse me. I bought a book. It might have been called Defending Your Retreat or something. I think it was by like a South African guy and maybe a Special Forces guy. And I didn't get it really to learn. I got it to kind of hand out to people in and around my area here. So they could see it, hear it from another source besides Pastor Joe. Because, a lot of y'all out there, well, I'll leave that one go. Forget that thought. But I bought it to share with people. And my intent was for them to look at that and figure out, oh yeah, we need to tighten up, man. We need to put more effort into patrolling and security and stuff like that. And I think, I was mildly successful in that endeavor. Not nearly as successful as I wanted to be. But what about you? What is your security plan? How are you going to defend your place from bad guys? You don't defend your home from your mailbox, right? I've said that before in the past. If you're defending your home from your mailbox, you've probably lost already. Because the bullets they're firing at you are going into your house and killing your loved ones. I know, you're going to have to get outside in the dark, in the cold, in the wet, and the heat, and the chiggers, and the ticks. So go do that. Take a walk around, look at your place, figure out how you would defend it. And then, once you kind of figure out, well, I'd go here, I'd do this, I'd do that, what are you going to wear? What are you going to carry? How fast can you get suited up? Now, granted, we are not now living in times of, without rule of law. And so, I don't have a rifle with me right now. I would in those times. I wouldn't go anywhere without a rifle. But think about it. Give it some thought. And thinking about these things now, while you can kind of chill and make notes on paper and drink coffee and go back to sleep, get up, change your notes, that'll put you way ahead when it comes time to actually implement this stuff. I think you're going to find, though, if you're honest with yourself, that you're going to need people. And I'll end on this, for every one position, I want a guard right here who's going to look up this road and that road, 24 hours a day to give us alert. It's 3 people, right? 8-hour shifts. And really, to do it right, it's probably more than 3 people. But I digress. All right, things to think about. One of these days, you may have to get really serious about your security. Something to look at is the farmers. They were relatively isolated. The white farmers in Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, excuse me, and soon, and I guess now a little bit, South Africa. They're kind of on isolated homesteads, and they don't fare well against guys with machetes. And they have guns, usually. The white farmers usually have guns. The guys attacking them don't, and the white farmers usually lose. In America, the bad guys aren't coming with machetes. They're coming with guns. Just something to think about. What a happy thought. All right, I'll see you out there.